Taylor Guitars recently launched the GT, their Grand Theater body shape. And given its price point, it's easy to compare it to the American Dream or the AD17E that I'm holding over here. But does that make sense? We're going to talk about it, so stay tuned. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. Comment below, tell us what you think. And if you'd like to support this channel, make sure to visit our Teespring store for our custom designed t-shirts. So as I said, we have the GT. It's now out. People are very excited about it. It's a whole new body shape from Taylor, but it actually wasn't that long ago that Taylor was introducing a new body shape. Last year, if you can remember, all the way back into 2019, that was like 4 years ago, it seems, they introduced the Grand Pacific, the round shoulder dreadnought type shape that I'm holding here on my right side, your left side. And so, you know, these are both basically Taylor's newest body shapes that have come out. And these particular models are interesting to compare because they're very similar in price. Now, we've done a full rundown of the GT Urban Ash. So if you haven't seen that video, make sure to click on the link above my head and check out our full review. We've also done a comparison against the GS Mini. Now, that is an obvious comparison because this is kind of a grown-up GS Mini. It was the idea that if they took a GS Mini and made it all solid wood, what would it be like? It's bigger than a GS Mini because that's kind of what's necessary. It is its own thing, and it's kind of a full-size guitar. It's kind of not a full-size guitar. And given its price, it makes sense, I think, as well to compare it to this. This is the American Dream AD17 that was launched earlier this year, really in a response to what was going on with the pandemic and just kind of lack of guitars available, guitars in lower price points, and Taylor putting something out there during a difficult time for musicians. So call it what you will, I think they're great guitars that are stripped down models that are available. Now that means that it puts it squarely in the price point of this. And I will say on the outset that I don't think that this is a great apples to apples comparison at all. They're very, very different guitars. The only reason we're doing it is because I know you're going to do it, because you're going to look at Taylor's website, or you're going to look at our website, alamomusic.com, and you're going to look at Taylor's by price. And what you're going to see is that the GT Urban Ash is the same price as an AD17. And the GTE Urban Ash with the ES2 pickup system is the same price as the AD17E, also with the ES2 pickup system. And if you stop there, you might be, thinking, well, they're very similar guitars, I'll get one or the other. But they are made for very, very different people. Now, there are some other similarities that we need to point out. They both have eucalyptus, smoked eucalyptus being used for both the fretboard and the bridge. That's something new that Taylor's been using. It was introduced first on the American Dream guitars, and it is a fantastic wood for the bridge and the fingerboard. It's actually, in some ways, kind of like rosewood. It plays really great. I think if electric guitar players like it a lot, just because of the feel of it. So that's very similar. The chamfered edges with the kind of stained binding look is also very, very similar between these. Outside of that, they have the same hardware as far as tuners and the same pickup system available, and they both come in aero cases. And then they dramatically differ. So let's talk about one at a time so we can make that case for you. So the American Dream is a Grand Pacific. It's a large, full-scale length Grand Pacific round shoulder dreadnought guitar. This is a bigger guitar, bigger than even like a Grand Auditorium. This is going to give you a lot more volume. It's going to give you a lot more depth to the sound just by the sheer size. And the Tonewoods on this are also different. Now, this features a solid Sitka or Lut spruce top with Ovancol back and sides. It also has V-class bracing on it. That's Taylor's newest bracing system that they came out with a few years ago that allows them to really tweak the volume and the sustain independent from one another and improves the intonation of the guitar. The feel of the neck is classic Taylor. The scale length is what you'd expect from a full-size guitar. All in all, it's a great guitar, and you should expect to get that kind of volume and seniority out of the guitar, if you will, because of its size. The Grand Theater, on the other hand, is very, very different. So let's just look at the size, first of all. It's dramatically smaller. It's more like a GS Mini. Bigger than one, but kind of heading in that direction. So obviously it's smaller. It's a little smaller than a Grand Concert, which was Taylor's previously smallest full-size body shape. It also has a different scale length to it. From the nut to the saddle, it's larger than GS Mini, shorter than full scale. It's got a different nut width. It's not quite 1 3/4 inch here. It's also not 1 11/16. It's kind of in the middle. It's got a new neck shape to it. It's also got new bracing. This has C-class bracing, which if you go to our Instagram account at Alamo Guitar, you will see photos taken of the inside of this guitar. And what the C bracing is it's a cantilever bracing that's basically kind of like half of the V-class. There is a single solid vertical brace on the bass side. And then there's kind of a brace here above the bridge plate, but it's very, very different from the very symmetrical V-class bracing that you'll find on the Grand Pacific and most of the rest of the American-made Taylor line. So, this is very asymmetrical, and it's done for a purpose because it's a small body and you're trying to eke out as much volume and tone out of it as you possibly can. And so that's the design that Andy Powers came up with. So it is specific for this body shape. I think it works really, really well, but you're going to get a different response from this guitar just by the size and the bracing that it has, as well as the scale length is going to change the harmonics on it compared to the Grand Pacific. It's got some other cool features, by the way, inside, like solid guitar lining. What you usually see if you look inside a guitar on the edge is like kerfling. That's pretty normal. You'll see this wood that has like little cuts in it to make it flexible. That's not what's in here. It's actually solid guitar lining, which is usually seen on really high-end guitars. It's pretty cool. Also, the back and sides of this are Urban Ash, as we find looking at the name, the GTE Urban Ash. Now, I mentioned that maybe there'll be some other Tonewoods available in the future, but that's what it launched with, and that's a very different tone from the Ovuncle. So we know on the American Dream, the combination of spruce and Ovuncle is going to give you a lot of depth and bass, some wonderful treble, and not as much as of a dip in the mid-range as you get out of Rosewood, but it's very Rosewood-like otherwise. This case, in addition to this body being smaller, the Urban Ash is going to give you like a really nice mahogany sound. Sounds like some of the best mahogany out there. Very good, strong fundamentals for the notes you're playing, and a really sweet mid-range to boot. The biggest thing that you're going to also take away from this is just the feel. This guitar feels dramatically different due to the differences in the neck, the scale length, the neck carve, and the nut shape. It's night and day difference. That guitar almost feels like it has higher action, even though it doesn't when playing these two. So it's not an apples to apples comparison. When you listen to our demo in just a minute, you're going to hear dramatically different sounding guitars. But we're doing this because they're the same price. And I know how some of you think. That's kind of how you shop. But I want you to know that if you're looking at a guitar in that price range, to know that one of these guitars is going to suit you better than the other based upon your needs. So I've already warned you. Now hear for yourself the dramatically different sounds of the Taylor GTE Urban Ash and the American Dream 17. Check it out. So there you have it. Two very, very different sounding guitars. Now, they are both kind of quintessential Taylor in some respects, but what's happened with the Taylor sound, with the V-class bracing, this body shape that came out, now with the C-class bracing, is, to me, it's Andy Powers finding the fundamental strengths of an acoustic guitar and trying to maximize them with, really, it's almost like some luthier trickery that takes place with the bracing. There's a great example in how he thinks previously in a kind of a live broadcast that Taylor did with Bob and Andy. And it's just that he thinks about things very differently than many of us. And so what has to be explained to you and I and other guitar geeks out there kind of just simply occurs to him, and that's why he's a great builder. Regardless of what bracing is on these or the Tonewoods, here's what I'm going to tell you. If you don't get lost in the weeds too much, you should know that the GT is a great feeling, fantastic, intimate, wonderful guitar that I think is going to find its way into a lot of hands. But if you are wanting something that is really, really big sounding, you probably want to look at this. Now, if you can, you owe it to yourself to try to get to a store and try both out if you can. That being said, even if you can go into a store, there aren't many of these available right now. They're not going anywhere. Hopefully there'll be more available next year, but they are kind of coming out in small numbers and getting spoken of in pre-orders. So just kind of know that's a lot of the reality of the situation. But if you can't try one out and you're wanting to order one, and you're watching this video to try to determine which one to get, here's my final parting words to you. If you are looking for a very comfortably playing guitar that you can just kind of take around, have a lot of fun with, and you don't need a lot of volume for, I would definitely check out the GT. I've had this guitar for weeks now, and I'm playing it a ton. I have a lot of really, really nice guitars. I'm playing this a lot. I love the sound of it, and the feel is just tremendous. If, on the other hand, you are looking in this price range and you are looking for a guitar that has a bigger sound to it, a more mature, maybe even, dare I say, a more common acoustic tone, response, and feel, then you probably should look at this one. In fact, you just listened to the demo. If you liked the sound of one of these over the other, and what I'm telling you about feel kind of checks certain boxes, hopefully that's all you need to know, and you can make your decision from there. Now, you should also know there's some other options available on this. It's a little bit more money, but you can get one with a mahogany top, or you can get this one with a black top. So those are the options available, and we don't know what comes in the future, but I think the GT has a long and storied future ahead of it. So hopefully this video of not comparing apples to apples was helpful to you. If you'd like more information about either guitar, visit our website. If you didn't catch it before, it's alamomusic.com. And you can chat live with one of our associates there. They can get you pictures of guitars we have in stock. They can explain specifications to you, let you know what we have on order, timeframes, things like that. They're there to help you. We're here to help you find the guitar of your dreams. At the end of the day, the best guitar in the world is the one that you're making music on. That's why we want you to find the one that you enjoy the most, that you want to grab the most, that you want to play the most. That's what it's all about. So if you're new to this channel, make sure that you subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos, and comment below and tell us what you think. Did you hear the difference? Was it substantial? And which one appeals most to you? Let us know. Appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.
Once again, you guys, thank you very much for watching. If you want to learn more about the guitar, check out Alamo Music. Oh, Pat.
Hey everybody, I love guitar videos just like you do. But guess what? Alamo Music Center has another YouTube channel. You can check out all the piano and keyboard reviews that we have and see more of me. Cooper, do we have another one of those? He's fine.